If you're suffering from back pain, this video is for you. Chances are you've tried a lot of different things. You've tried exercise, you've tried different types of stretches. You might have gone to physio or osteo or chiropractor before. The reality is there's so many different reasons for back pain, and there's so many different types of back pain that you do really need to figure out what it is that's doing it. I'm gonna go through the top 4 researched and proven methods that you can do at home that's gonna help you not only get rid of back pain, but it's gonna prevent you from getting any more. I'm Dr. Matthew Posa. Welcome to the page. This page is dedicated to people and families with tips and tricks so that way you can live the life you were designed to live. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this information with the people we know is gonna help them. But before we get into them, I think it's important to say there are many different types of back pain. There's many different types and reasons for people with back pain. Recently, with everybody staying at home and during the pandemic, there is a ton more low back pain from sitting in a chair. There's also a lot of people who have had injuries, or there could be disc issues. So the reason for your back pain needs to be addressed. And this is where going to a corrective care chiropractor is highly encouraged, so you can get what is going on and understand what are the best ways in order to fix it. When you do a stretch at home, you're creating a stretch reflex. Now that stretch reflex will create a moment of ease inside your body. It'll reduce pain, and that can last from 20 to 30 minutes. So it is a nice thing to have. It's a good thing if you're in a bad situation where you just need some type of relief, but it is a short-term thing. So being really clear on that, these 4 exercises that I'm gonna go through today are not only researched, but they are published by probably the most famous biomechanics expert. He's actually a disc expert, and he's helped a lot of physiotherapists and chiropractors and other types of physical therapists understand the mechanics of the spine, but also understand what can be done in order to help it. His name is Dr. McGills, and he's been able to come down to the 4 top things that people can do in order to help their spine, not only alleviate pain, but create a longer lasting effect, so that way you're actually helping the problem and not simply masking it. This stretch is more of a movement pattern, and it's known as the Cat-Camel, but essentially what you want to do is put your spine through a set of motions that are going to create a little bit more laxity, but it's rehydrating your disc. So this is really good for people who have disc issues in particular, that create this movement pattern that allows for things to start breathing and move and opening up. The key with this one, and based on McGills' research, is that you don't want to necessarily do this a lot. And in fact, what they found is 7 to 8 motions is enough in order to create the desired effect. Doing more actually had a worsening effect. The key here is to do 7 to 8 motions, so it's not many. That's gonna free up your spine and you're gonna feel a lot better. So the Cat-Camel, really simple. You're gonna go on all 4s. And as you go on all 4s, there's 2 opposite motions. So the first motion is to bring your pelvis up and you're arching in through your back. So you're bringing everything down and up. And then the opposite motion, which is to tuck in the pelvis and rounding the spine and bringing the head down. So you're really bringing this way and then back this way. So you want to do this in a smooth motion. And again, it's 7 to 8 in a row. That's going to create that motion that we're looking for, unlocking the disc. For many of you with disc problems or back pain, you're going to find this one to be a little bit harder to do at the beginning because of how stiff you are. And that's the point of doing it, is you're going to create that laxity in the spine that's going to open up all the tissues, and eventually you're going to feel better. This stretch is known as the psoas stretch. So the psoas muscle are 2 muscles that run down both sides of the spine. They go into your hips, so they're also known as the hip flexor muscles. And these are the ones that, because they attach to your low back, but they also attach to some of the diaphragm, it can create quite a bit of low back pain, but it's a compressive force. So it's that when you're getting out of a chair, that feeling of wanting to be hunched over or having a hard time to take that first step, that is the psoas muscle being too tight. So one of the things you can do is you want to go on one knee. So I'll do it from the side here. You want to go on one knee. So we're going to be stretching out the right side. You're going to take a step forward, and then as you lunge forward, so you're bringing your pelvis forward into that position, you want to raise your same side hand, and you want to bring it up. Now, while you're bringing it up, you're going to be able to target the muscle even more than if you were just doing a lunge stretch. So this is one that you would typically have seen before, and probably some other videos about stretching out the psoas muscle. But in order to pinpoint it even more, it's as you bring yourself forward, you're bringing your arm up, and then you're leaning slightly to the opposite side. And you would do that on both sides. If you have a hard time maybe getting down on the knee, then you can do this standing, but I would highly recommend either giving yourself a nice stable platform to work on. You want to bring yourself down, so it's a downwards and forwards motion. The number one mistake most people make with this one is that their foot is too far over here, and when they go this way, they start to get a lot of knee pain. So if you bring yourself a lot more forward and have a fencer stance, then what you're doing is you're just gonna lunge down. You're gonna feel that right away in through the front. And then again, it's the same thing this way. If you're having problems even maintaining that posture, you can hold a chair, you can have something by your side, sometimes the side of the bed. If you wanna get down on one knee, you can use the side of the bed on the opposite hand, but then you're switching to the other side and you're doing, again, the exact same thing. This exercise or movement pattern is known as the airplane. So when you're doing airplanes, and the reason why we're doing airplanes is what they found is a lot of people, again, who sit all day with a lot of low back pain, or if you just generally have low back pain, the hips and the motion of the hips are wrong. So the hip capsule itself, what holds the femoral head inside the hips themselves, is that area is becoming really tight from sitting or being in a improper movement. Even if somebody's been suffering for a long time with low back pain, you'll notice that their hips become stiffer, and this perpetuates and continues to get worse. So this exercise is designed to open up the hips to create that movement, which is going to help a lot of people, not only with their hip range of motion, but also relieve that low back pain. The way to do this one, and there is a progression, if you do need help, I would recommend having a chair or something to hold on to with one arm, because what you want to do is you want to be able to stand on one leg, you want to bend your leg so you have all your mobility on this leg. You're going to be arching forward like this, and you're bringing up this other leg. So you do want to make sure that you can hold yourself in a good position. And as you do this, you can start with your hands on your hips, or you can hold on. But what you want to do is you want to turn in to your hips. So I'm turning my torso. I'm not bending anywhere. I'm keeping everything stable, but I'm turning in and I'm stretching out the hip, holding that for 2 seconds, and then back to neutral. And then I'm turning out, holding for 2 seconds, and then back. So you're doing 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps. And that would be on either side. So that is where you're going to feeling that workout as well. But if you do need the help, make sure you're using something in order to create that motion through the hip itself and then back the other way. And when you do this, you're going to feel where it's straining. You're going to feel some pulling on the muscles on the side, but that's a good thing because that's opening up your hips. But a lot of your low back muscle is attached to your diaphragm, and the diaphragm muscle is the one that contracts, that actually allows for you to breathe. And this muscle, because all the other muscles attached to this, it becomes a big one, and probably often the most neglected muscle, because most people wouldn't think of their diaphragm when they're thinking of low back pain. So with this muscle, what you want to do is you want to take deep breaths. Now the key here is you want to get out of your chair every 20 to 30 minutes. So if you're working at your desk, you want to be able to get up, stretch. And the way that you're going to do this is once you get up, you're going to bring your arms up and you're going to inhale. You're going to do a really deep inhale, so you're feeling it right through the bottom of your chest, right through the lungs, right through the bottom, in through the diaphragm. You're inhaling and you're pushing up to the ceiling. So your hands are coming up. You're creating a tractioning effect. So you're taking a deep breath in, pushing up, and then exhale down. And then again, one more time. Nice and big, and now reach even higher as you fill in those lungs. So you're creating that expansion in through the chest cavity, in through the low back muscles, and you're pushing up as you do that, and you're exhaling. So you want to do about 10 of those. And I would do those, especially if you've been working at your desk all day, you're sitting down for long hours of time. You want to set some type of little reminder to tell you to get up and to stretch and breathe. So if you can do that while you're working at your desk, you're not only going to break up your day, but you're going to create these moments where you're getting more oxygen, you're expanding your chest, and you're giving your low back a rest. So try that and see how that feels. Quick recap. Most of the stretches that most people do out there and most videos are geared towards are a short-term fix, creating a stretch reflex that allows for about 20 to 30 minutes of pain relief. These need to be repeated constantly, but thanks to the work of Dr. McGill, we're able to better understand not only disc loading, the affected muscles and ligaments and how those react, but movement patterns that are generated in order to help ease the pain and bring back freedom to the joints that are usually causing the low back pain. So give those a try in that order, starting with the Cat-Camel, moving all the way up to the airplanes, and finally when you're at work doing the breath work. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the page for more videos, and share this information with the people that we know need it. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.